women don't need abortions. They don't need abortions though, do they? Absolutely incoherent. They make her point every single time. Hi. Yeah, sure. Just give me one moment. Just give me one moment. Okay, one moment. So you can get a really good idea. Fun, isn't it? Doing is trying to totally disrupt the sound, which I think is quite funny. So let's form a circle. Let's form a circle. Guys, let's form a circle. Oh, go and date a trans woman, fuck off. Right, let's go and form a circle. Right. He's got here. Abortion she's screaming. She's screaming help. Fuck, what's happening to her? Nothing's happened. Yeah, hey, how are you? They're going to try and steal our stuff. What, the horses? They left. They leave and they... So we're just going to stand and prove that free speech for women in the US is over. Look at them. Right, so what we're planning on doing is we're going to gather all of our people together in a circle like this, and then we're going to expand it out. Good idea. That's so demented. Right, now here comes the police. Hello. Oh, nice to meet you too. So, there's two groups here. There's some women, like me, and then there's a transactionist who's got masks on. This woman. I'm not touching it. It's access to it. I'm not touching it. Come on. You're fucking hilarious. Oh, yeah. So there's a young woman. Yeah, you're too close. Back on. Like a 4-year-old. I'm not touching it. Hold on. just been lied to. That's what's happening. Yeah, it's lovely. Very nice.
Yeah, there's no beach going. Yeah. Come on, I'll pay for the beach. It's good. You're like officers said to do.
What would you like to say? That you're on an officer.
You're not, but the officer said we should get a lawn.
Yeah, why don't you? Why don't you? Why don't you have a dialogue?
Come to a whole different city.
Why don't you have a dialogue?
Why are you upset with my
We are simply saying that
Why are you upset with my genitals?
nobody needs to know that.
Stop talking about my genitals, you freak. Stop
This is how nuts they are.
freak. I love this.
She's really angry, like really enraged, crazy angry.
Laura, I didn't wear deodorant, guys. You mad?
No.
You know, that's look at all my friends and my water bottles. No pushing. I get pushed. Hey, stop touching my friend. He's touching me. Get the fuck away from my friend. He's embracing me. You're not doing anything. She's the one touching me. Is there a reason why you guys have to touch each other? I don't know. I'm just curious.
Why don't you just take the protest over there? You don't need to be in amongst us.
Touching my friend for some reason. Oh, your friend is touching me. I don't want to have to separate people. We'll probably just probably get along.
Yeah, I agree.
We're actually not leaving. Oh, no one's leaving. All right, we made it try, right?
Why can't your protest be over there? Why?
You want to know where we got it? I got it from Medliners. That's
She's now, the insane girl is now talking about how someone might really like her binder. Do you want to know how I got it? So basically what we're proving is that America might have the First Amendment, but they can't enforce it. And so when women want to speak, there's no way to for people to hear. So what's the point? Because these trans activists have come all amongst us, banging, drowning us out. I mean, we don't have the right for free speech in the UK, and yet we actually can speak in public without this. So it is a bit laughable that we're in the land of the free and you can't speak and be heard. And I don't blame the officers, obviously they're just upholding their bit of the law. But it does seem peculiar that there is a right to something that you can't actually access. Do you want to speak on camera? Do you want to come and speak on camera?
Are we starting?
Well, I've been live streaming the whole time since I got here. But you just have to hold it like this and I think you'll be heard. Just don't lose it. And don't press the button. Don't press the button, just hold it. Just hold it. Yeah. I'm going to see if you can be seen. Hello, Chicago. Well, this is my hometown, and there is some resistance here. We're in front of the Wrigley Building. It's a great spot. Many people are walking by and enjoying what we have to say, which is stay away from our children. The moms of Chicago are standing up. We will not let you have our children. We will not let you mutilate our children. We won't let you put drugs in their system, wrong sex hormones. Oh, okay. We won't allow that. There's moms all over the Chicagoland area are getting together to stop this. There's a group in Downers Grove where they wanted to have drag queen bingo, and they all got together and shut it down. And that's what's going to keep happening, because nobody is going to give you our kids. We're not going to let you destroy our kids' future. So that is Chicago. If you have your kid in Chicago public schools, know that they are being taught gender ideology. They are forced to use wrong sex pronouns against what their eyes tell them. They are forced to use girls plus and boys plus bathrooms. So girls do not have a choice with boys coming into their bathrooms.
Women and girls deserve the right to say no. And that is what we're saying here today. This is a record of our dissent, and Chicago is a poppin' city, and the people are with us. The people of Chicago are with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to keep doing this like this, and I'm just going to have a look and see if you can hear me. So if you can hear me, can you say yes on the live stream?
Wisconsin, and I will ask you again, I ask you, my sisters, to consider each woman, every woman, as a sister. One who was born into sisterhood, just as you were, as I was, from the time of your conception to the moment of your birth, female, and thus deserving of space in our sisterhood. Every female, no matter what she claims to be, is part of our sisterhood. And though she may not see the power within her own female body, that power that cannot be suppressed by puberty blockers and testosterone, that power that does not disappear when her breasts are removed, that power that does not reside in her uterus, that power that bleeds from every cell in her body, though she may not see that power at this moment, we will hold space for her to be with us in sisterhood. Every female in this space is part of sisterhood. Every female in this space is part of sisterhood. When she comes to realize her own power, she will claim the sisterhood that she deserves, and we, our sisters, will welcome her home. In this space, sisters, I want to hear your voices shout loud enough for every girl, every woman to hear the call home. Let me hear you say, sisterhood!
To hold this up, or
maybe that's what the Kellie-Jay Keen stream. This is going to the mic. That's going to Amy. That one's going to Kellie-Jay Keen. To be honest, I'm quite certain no one can hear us, but we're still doing it.
Absolutely. Am I good? Am I good? Hi, my name is Brett Smith. On Twitter, I go by Exhausted Wits. I'm here to tell you about how gender ideology is an absolute scam. These are people who don't care about you. They don't care about your children. Recently, I posted about my 16-year-old daughter desisting from thinking she was trans. Their response, instead of celebrating that another kid doesn't suffer what they claim is such a thing to suffer, they doxed me, sent me bomb threats, sent CPS to my home to try to save my 16-year-old daughter
That's right. We're going to keep going backwards. Come backwards. Can we step backwards? Okay, yeah. Yeah, let's step backwards. Should we go a bit more? A bit more, please? Thank you. A bit more? Are we joining hands? Can you move? Is she pushing you? Would you step back, lad? I'm so sorry. Do you want me to?
No touching. Come on now.
Could you move back? Could you move back a little bit? Could you make it a bit safer for everyone and move back? Could you make it safe for everyone and stand back?
How far you want to come back?
Well, I mean, this will do. They want to stay there.
I think this is fine. I got you in the back.
You alright? How about you? You back away from my friend. Can y'all back away from my friend? You can move back.
Hey, no touching. No touching right there. No touching, okay?
Okay, so we tried to move back. The idea is that we have a little bit more of a line, a bit more of an obvious division.
No touching. No touching.
Goodness me. It is, how are you finding it?
I think this is lovely. I see a lot of beautiful faces in front of me. Thank you. I'm getting pushed by a very small dick in my back. Thank you. Kind of awkward.
I want to thank all the trans activists for coming out and proving our point. Thank you so much, each and every one of you crazy little budding misogynists. Thank you so much to the young women coming.
I don't either, yeah.
Let women speak! Let women speak! Let women speak! Let women speak!
No.
Let women speak! 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 Let women speak!
Do you want to talk?
Let women speak! Let women speak! Let's go home! Let's go home! Let's go home! Can you hold? Do you need to? Can you hold the two like that?
Yeah.
Is that alright? They are so afraid of women speaking that they come out en masse to stop us because they know the more people hear it, the more likely they are to understand what's going on in their schools, to understand that there's women in this country being raped in prison, and when they know, they will say no. Because at the moment, what this cult is relying upon is a lack of consent and concern because nobody knows what's going on. Right. Okay, you come and speak. Right. Really nice and loud and clear into this. So I want that for my live stream. So hold the two together like this. Nice and close. Got it. Can you, sorry, let me just, that's my live stream. If you're here for women, can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Let women speak! 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 Let
close, really nice and close.
I have a paper. I have to get it out real quick.
The people this direction can hear you much better than what you can hear yourself.
I got you. Can you hold that nice and close like this? The both of them? Yep. Okay. And this. You want to hold. And then people at home can see these twats. I got it. Great. Right position? Alrighty. Alrighty.
First, I want to thank Kellie-Jay Keen for relentlessly speaking up about how gender identity ideology affects the rights and well-being of women and girls, gay and lesbian people, and children. Your speeches and debates were some of the first content to help me put my misgivings about gender identity ideology into words. I also want to thank the rest of the women here for joining us today. It is not easy to be here. For every one of us standing here today, there are countless women who will watch online, cheering us on and finding their own inspiration. That was me 2 years ago. I was in awe of the bravery of the women who showed up at Speakers' Corners, the Seattle Public Library, and Pride marches to state that women are adult human females, homosexuality exists, and no child is born in the wrong body. Here I am today, despite the fact that I considered myself to be too non-confrontational, too shy, and far too afraid to risk being doxxed or physically threatened by those who want feminism and gay rights to surrender to men's sexual demands and to repackage homophobia. I hope that I can inspire others the way Kellie-Jay and all the brave women who came before have inspired me. Some of you have been standing on this hill for years, even for decades, and for that I cannot thank you enough. Like many young people with a liberal arts college background, my friend group and peers and I are almost entirely left-leaning and progressive. We support universal health care, environmental protections, gay rights, unrestricted abortion access, and social programs for vulnerable groups. This is my political background. It is the one thing trans activists are most afraid that you will learn about me. I am not part of some right-wing religious backlash to civil rights. There is nothing hateful or conservative about standing up for women and gay people. There is nothing radical about opposing the sterilization of adolescents. And there is nothing bigoted about insisting upon using accurate sex-based language. If you stand against us, know that you are standing against lifelong women's rights campaigners, women who have been fighting for abortion access, domestic violence shelters, and justice for sexual assault survivors for longer than most of us, or many of us, have been alive. You are standing against gay and lesbian people who want the right to form communities without sexual coercion and pressure to date members of the opposite sex. And you are standing against those who regret taking hormones and irreversible surgeries and are now seeking justice for medical treatments that promise them relief but have left them sterilized and chronically ill. This is who we are. They call us trans exclusionary radical feminists or TERFs. Trans activists will tell you that you should not even engage with us in discussion, that our ideas are so hateful and dangerous that we must be silenced from speaking at all, that we must be banned and censored from every single social media platform, and that we should be cut loose from our friend groups and communities. According to them, we are so dangerously bigoted that violence and physical intimidation are reasonable and even justified responses to our speaking events. It is no wonder then that so many people are afraid to publicly voice their dissent to trans ideology. Sentiments such as kill TERFs are not hard to find online. Look up TERFisAslur.com if you do not believe me. Women have been shoved, cornered, and pushed to the ground and injured at events just like this one. Knowing all of this, we are standing here today taking these risks. This is because we know what is at stake if we do not speak out against trans ideology. I will not surrender female-only spaces to men and boys, no matter how they identify. I will not stand back while lesbian and gay people are forced to apologize for their same-sex attraction or are bullied into believing that they were born in the wrong bodies. And I will not
decisions on this topic. Medical providers are drugging children and surgically altering their beautiful, perfect, healthy bodies for life. Procedures such as double mastectomy are performed on girls as young as 13. Misogynist hormones prescribed off-label come to suppress a child's healthy and normal pubertal development are given to children. Child's development is influenced and humanizing so that we won't see what is happening. These are children, not electronic devices. The atrocities of the hormones and surgeries and drugs that are pushed are done so under a blanket term evidence-based, which covers all manner of things. But anybody using that term
Can you hear this?
who are too complacent to ask questions,
Can you hear this?
interpret data, understand studies, and think critically and independently.
Okay, can you hear this?
There is no evidence that these
Can you hear this?
procedures are harmful, and they even produce more studies to show this also makes them vulnerable to the
Oh,
big oil salesmen.
can you hear this?
Research published in the International Review of Psychology shows that 80% of children seeking clinical therapy lose their desire to identify with the opposite sex. There's no record of large number of adults in the medicine transition. Rather than treatments are more readily available.
I'm just checking one more time.
Okay. There's no record of large numbers of teen suicides due to gender dysphoria or inability to obtain medicalizing treatments. Side effects of puberty blockers, testosterone, and estrogen are numerous and include loss of bone density, increased risk of osteoporosis, increased risk of stroke, heart disease, heart attacks, and blood clots. The effects of these drugs are severe and they cannot be understood by children. Children cannot give informed consent. They are children. But why would we want them to consent to all of this? We should be telling our children to love themselves and the one body they're given. But instead, we've allowed them to be convinced that they could be born in the wrong body and can fix it with drugs that will wreak havoc on their young bodies and for which they are lining up in droves. The silver lining for the medical industrial complex is the creation of lifelong patients. While I am thankful every day that neither my daughter nor stepdaughter have been captured by gender ideology, I know other women, other parents and families are not so lucky. Many are afraid to speak the simple truth, which is that no child was born in the wrong body, and I will never stop fighting for that truth. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I just find trans activists in particular? If you've got a mask on, we really can't hear or read what you're saying. But that's great. Okay, who else would like to speak? I think it's this lady next, and then you, and then there's another lady that said something. Right. Please don't switch that one off. I'm going to put that right next to your face. And I know it's right near. I know it's annoying, but sorry. There you go.
It'll cover my double chin.
Really close.
Okay. Is that good? No. Closer. All right. Everyone, it's good to see you today. It's a beautiful day in downtown Chicago. In addition to being beautiful, Midwestern women are also known for being straightforward and down to earth, which may be why so many of you turned out today for this event. You're standing here today because you know that society has truly taken a wrong turn when women are being harassed, assaulted, shouted down with loud epithets, and meaningless mantras simply for trying to speak their minds in the public square. Your presence here today is a record of your dissent, of you saying no, and I'm grateful for it. About 18 months ago, a friend asked what brought me to this fight. I needed a moment to reflect, because like many of us, I initially did not see the harms of this ideology. Before the bathroom wars went into full swing in North Carolina, I agreed that people should be accepted for who they are.
No, you say, I can just do this.
And that they should be free to use the restroom they felt most comfortable in. I had fallen for the cash-filled propaganda that gender identity was the civil rights movement of our time. But when I saw a social media thread where a highly respected woman, locally as well as internationally known for her lifelong advocacy, was being viciously trashed by progressives for the crime of clearly articulating how that point of view puts women and children at increased risk of harm, I began to question my stance. For the record, that woman was Miriam Ben Shalom, a woman I now consider a friend, and who is here with us today. Not long thereafter, I began to see reports about lesbians being assaulted at and evicted from pride events for being who they are, namely same-sex attracted females who don't include males in their dating pools, no matter what they call themselves. And images on social media of women being hung at the gallows by raging mobs of predominantly white males, and this abhorrent behavior is being cheered on by the masses as both warranted and admirable. Obviously, I was wrong. And when I started seeing women being referred to as menstruators, uterus havers, vagina owners, and other grossly dehumanizing terms, it finally dawned on me that they were coming for the word mother too. And that's when I said, oh no, not gonna happen. As a mother of 2 grandsons, the word means a great deal to me. Being a mother is a huge part of who I am, how I define myself. And as the Declaration on Women's Sex-Based Rights says in Article 2, motherhood is an exclusively female status. But damn straight, every mother is a woman. Men can't have our word for the uniquely female experience of gestating and birthing a child. I started saying no then, and I'm still saying it. Let's say it together. Women say no! Women say no! Women say no! And we must keep on saying no, sisters. Loudly, persistently, and perhaps most importantly, collectively. As Renee Gorick implored us in 2019 at a talk in Brisbane, find your sisters. Our movement isn't at critical mass yet, but we're getting there. If there is ever a time to push, it's now. And I quote, in a culture that honored women, cared for children, and grounded in the natural world, the spread of transgender ideology would not occur. Voltaire's famous warning that those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities is also pertinent. It is a dangerous and threatening climate we live in, a climate in which the absurdities of transgenderism are promoted so widely while they cause such serious harm and are taboo to question. Women who speak out now face ostracism and losing their livelihoods at the hands of the very same people who are currently joining mass movements that claim to fight for the planet and social justice. Yet as Audre Lorde famously said, your silence will not protect you. I'm just doing a mix-up. And women out there holding their tongues to stay safe, I say we are living in an era of rising authoritarianism, and this ideology is one vehicle for it. You need to find your sisters. Now is the time to speak the truth where you can, in spite of those who will turn on you or refuse to offer you solidarity, and find your sisters. We are here. We are hearing and finding our voices together, and we want you among us. Thank you.
Stealing. I just want to say, there's a wonderful woman behind me. I'm just going to get her on camera, who is just standing, the most serene, poised woman, while she's getting screamed at and pushed behind. So this is what we are faced with. Thank you so much. You're just, every time I look at you, you've got that nightmare behind you, and you're just zen. Okay, right, let's have someone else. Yes, you next, you after. Right, I'm going to put this on you because I keep switching it off or doing something weird to it. Okay, come and stand here.
I just want to briefly tell a little bit of my story. I'm not talking about anything that these wonderful women who have gone before me have already spoken about, but I want to tell it from my perspective. 5 years ago, I was a closeted lesbian from a strict religious background, living with the man I had married shortly after turning 18. After years of internal struggle with my own sexuality, I reached out to peers online within queer community, and they encouraged me to date women, suggesting that I might be a lesbian. They also made sure that I accepted and understood that good lesbians knew that trans women were women. These new friends who told me that dating women would be freeing for me simultaneously encouraged me to date and then eventually to marry a man who identified as a woman. I knew that I was marrying a man, but all of my queer friends believed that good lesbians accepted trans women were women, and so I did my best to as well. My so-called friends within the queer community celebrated my second heterosexual marriage in one breath while encouraging me to be loud and proud about being homosexual with the next. I have left my Christian programming behind and replaced it with queer theory. I don't assign fault as a way to shrug responsibility, but to illustrate that those who would push an ideology will seek out the vulnerable. I was an adult when my peers encouraged me, after agreeing that I was a lesbian, to marry a trans-identifying man. These same peers would go on to encourage me to briefly become trans-identifying myself, pointing to feelings I shared with many exclusively same-sex attracted women as evidence that I could be a man, or at least not entirely a woman. These were the people who were supposed to be supporting me as a lesbian, but it's now clear that they didn't even know what a lesbian is. If I, as an adult, could fall victim to queer and gender ideology, how can we expect children not to? The same friends that had encouraged me to love women later ostracized me when I said that I really did love women, but that this certainly didn't extend to men who asserted that they were women. As an adult, it took me years to be able to stand up to the people who bullied me into validating their warped ideas of reality. But these same people want to influence children in schools, at so-called family-friendly pride events, at drag queen story hours, and more. They push the lie that being male or female is not a fact of biology in one's physical reality, but rather a reflection of what a person likes and how they feel, telling gender non-conforming children they should seek medical intervention. They are telling lesbian teens and young adults that they're really the opposite sex because they feel differently than their same-sex peers. And society is letting them, watching as confused kids are sterilized in the name of gender. Worse, they do this in the name of inclusive feminism, a feminism that leaves women behind.
Right.
Queer and trans groups are more than happy to offer support and friendship to isolated and vulnerable kids or teens at the cost of buying into their ideologies. But if these kids or teens are just boring old cis straight kids, or if they don't accept that men can be women and women can be men, they will lose these friends and this support. The pressure to identify out of their sex is ever present, lest they be seen as the oppressor. We cannot expect kids to grow up free from the harms of gender ideology and sexualization if complacent, kids and teens will continue to identify with transgender ideology and seek medicalization, irreparably harming their healthy bodies before they're even old enough to get a tattoo, losing their fertility before they can even have their ears pierced without their parents' approval. We know what men and women are, and no one should be afraid to say so. If we cannot name what a woman is, how can we fight for her rights? Children know the difference between men and women without being taught, but now queer-friendly teens and adults are pushing the absurd line that men can be women and vice versa. They are telling children that the truth of the differences between men and women that is self-evident is a lie, and this is being taught in grade schools with a pressure from trans activists to require it to be taught. If adults like myself can be pressured to buy into gender and queer ideologies, children must be even more vulnerable. If we don't stand up against the social contagion of transgender ideology and queer theory, how can we expect those who come behind us to? And if we can't know what women is, how will we fight for women's sex-based rights? Biology is not bigotry, and speaking against queer and gender ideology is a hate crime. We must speak out for women and children everywhere to protect sex-based spaces and rights. If we don't, even more children and young adults will be medically experimented on and harmed. Even more women and will become the victims of trans-identified men in our spaces, restrooms, prisons, spas, and locker rooms. Women are adult human females. And man, the safeguarding of women and girls.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right next was that lovely lady. Hi. Thank you. Right, this is going to go up. It does get distorted. We can do these events with amazing sound. Thank you. Really, kiss it.
Okay. I've been shamed and defamed, tossed out into the rain. My pain shatters the sidewalk, and I grow up through the cracks like a weed. I cry, my tears mixing with the drops falling from the sky. Why? Because I dare to share that trans is a lie. Moving forward slightly, I look up. The rain turns to snow. Oh, is it time to go? But I can't run. My roots grow deep, penetrating this Midwestern soil, the toil of aging dreams, screaming in the background. I was a singer once. I held my hand to the mic, and my voice was gold. But that was all before dozens of creeping spoilers spoiled my toil with their wet dreams. Me holding fast to a sign saying, "Don't believe the hype, trans activism is misogyny." Holding fast to the light of truth, holding fast to my own dignity and willful well-being as I gasped in the muck. Fuck, all of this must be a nightmare, a terrible dream I'll wake up from. This is my home. It is where I belong, in song and in open dialogue with my fellow dwellers upon this land. Where do you stand, with or against women? Where do you stand, good people of this land, of the Great Lakes region, of our sacred waters? Nishigami, I salute you. It is clear from the weather that things will go better if we stick together, which is why I am here. Though the pains of growing tall, a spiky plant shedding her seeds of the fall, show like stretch marks on a woman's body after giving birth, I am not unscathed. I am a wounded warrior, enlivened and enraged for our cause of freedom from male tyranny. Hi, I'm Thistle Pedersen, founder of WLRN, a monthly podcast modeled after NPR's All Things Considered or Amy Goodman's Democracy Now!, featuring world news, commentary, interviews, and music. Our podcast comes out every first Thursday of the month. We've been doing it for 6.5 years. We have not missed 1 month. And we are born of cancellation by local media in Madison, Wisconsin at 89.9 FM, community radio station WORT. They now have a policy that radical feminist voices that are critical of transgenderism are not allowed on the air. This was after I interviewed Sheila Jeffries, Megan Murphy, Julie Bindle, and dozens of other lesbians who attended the Mission Women's Music Festival. WLRN is my weed growing up through the cracks. I'd like to give a shout out to WLRN members, Sekhmet Shiel, who's been with us for 6 years, Jenna DeQuarto, 6 years, April Null, 5 years, Emily Ann Lorenzen, 2 years, and Super Star Aurora Linnea, who's been with us for 1.5 years. And if you'd like to get involved with WLRN and you are an adult human female, please find us online. We are always looking to expand our ranks and our reach. And now we're organizing Speakers Corner events in the Midwest, inspired by Kellie-Jay Keen and Venice Allen of Standing for Women. It is so awesome to be here in Chicago with you today, Kellie-Jay. So awesome. I'm also a singer-songwriter who used to play with my own band around Madison at different bars, coffee houses, and community centers. But because of AGP males, that's autogonophilic males, I am not allowed to play music anymore. A band called Dumpster Dick that was fronted by an AGP male named Christine Elaine organized dozens, if not hundreds, of trans activists in Madison to stalk and harass me and cancel all of my shows. They have even gotten me fired from my job. As recently as a month and a half ago, I was fired because of these males. And I wanted to just say that Trans Advocacy Madison is a hate group, and they organize against women and girls in Madison, Wisconsin, and I hope that at some point they would be held accountable. Finally, I want to leave you on a positive note. Not everyone hates me. There are some special sisters in our sisterhood who have really lifted me up through the years. The WLRN sisters that I mentioned earlier, and Liz Miller, editor of the feminist anthology, Spinning and Weaving. She commissioned me to write a song and get it professionally recorded to celebrate the release of the book. I named the song after her book and was able to release a whole album of music by the same name this past spring. I have CDs here with me today if you would like one, and you're interested in supporting independent, canceled, and banned grassroots feminist music. Thank you.
Like that. I'm going to restart my stream. I'm just going to restart my stream.